have the two witnesses, one who was in NORAD and one who was in the silo, all on the record, right?
Wow.
Firsthand. So now we have 100 of those that we've already brought out. Go to my YouTube channel. You'll see 70 of them up there, or 80. The problem is that when you're first trying to find out about this, the amount of information, like we're sitting on 8, 9, 10 terabytes of data in my archive that we're trying to organize. We call it the Disclosure Project Intelligence Archive, the DPIA. And that's what we're putting and organizing and handing off. As soon as we get it to any state and new information, I hand off another hard drive to these top secret guys who are trying to find out. But we need to pick up the pace, obviously, because there's a clock. We'll talk about this. There's a clock now been set on this.
Well, we will get into all that. When you're talking about these disinformation agents, these knocks, I have somebody that comes to mind, and we were talking about him at lunch. Lou Elizondo. Is he one of them?
Oh, of course. I mean, as soon as he emerged on the stage, I had a very senior guy at CIA who's worked this issue since 1979 contact me about that problem. But remember, the only way that you can control at this point all this coming out because of what we have and what we're pushing forward through media is to control the narrative, the spin. So the people coming forward who get an all-access pass on to, say, 60 Minutes or something like that, are people cleared by this same illegal, corrupt organization because they'll tell the public, yes, the UAPs are real, but we don't know what they are. Well, this is an absolute lie. We absolutely know what they are. Some of them are ours, man-made, and are confused quite frequently with the others, which are of extraterrestrial origin, or ETVs, extraterrestrial vehicles. And those operatives are taught very well to take an issue, grab it, capture it, and then spin it in the direction that they want. Now, the direction they want is endless ambiguity. Gee, we don't know what they are. We don't know what they are. It's nonsense. We've proven what they are. Well, I have 755 whistleblowers.
You have 755 whistleblowers?
Yeah. I mean, this archive is unbelievable.
You had mentioned that you would want to debate Lou Elizondo.
Oh, I'd be happy to. I mean, someone brought that up a couple years ago. I don't have any animus towards him personally. I just know what his role and function is because I was given a heads up on it as soon as he emerged out of the Pentagon and stood up his operation with this young guy I used to hang with, Tom DeLonge of Blink-182. He'd stay at my house in Virginia, but what you expect counterintelligence and disinformation agents to do is to do exactly that. Now remember, all that happened when our documentary Unacknowledged, which you can still see on Amazon Prime and everywhere, reached about 750 million viewers. At that point, they said, we need to take this narrative, acknowledge that these are real, but then change the narrative from the truth, which is what we're putting out, to sort of a fantasy or sort of a diversion. And then those folks like Chris Mellon and Nick Pope and Elizondo would go up on Capitol Hill, whisper into the ears of folks like Senator Rubio of the Intelligence Committee and others, basically telling them false information. But the false information works when you can put it around something real. Now, what was the real thing? The tic-tac, the F-18 Hornets chasing off the coast of California, those events that happened, that the footage was leaked, it was a vehicle for them to attach that false narrative to it. Okay. So you have to understand how counterintelligence and psychological warfare operations are designed. It's very effective. I mean, it is very effective. I would say 90% of people who study UFOs got gaslit. Certainly the U.S. Congress and the media did. So they're very good at doing it. It doesn't mean that it's right, but I'd be very happy to go tete-a-tete on that with anybody.
Let's talk about, I would love to host that, by the way.
Great,
so
do it.
Yeah, maybe we can get something going.
Although I have to tell you, he's called me a terrorist, which I find rather funny.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Here we go. Hey, I've had 30 years of defamation of my character, so I'm sort of bulletproof from it. You know.
Yeah. The Stargate program. During your last interview, I saw a lot of comment. There's two programs that I would like you to explain before we dive into the nuts and bolts of what we're going to. A lot of questions about the Stargate program. Can you enlighten us?
Well, you'd have to describe it. That name is not a code word that I've been introduced to from a reliable inside source person who knows.
Okay.
So here's just to give you an idea of my discipline.
Well, I appreciate the honesty. Thank you.
So if somebody has told me about an operation, whether it's a code word, code numbered, or just a general project that I know has the credentials and we know he was involved directly, firsthand, not second, third, fourth hand gossip over the internet, then I will speak to that. But now if you describe to me what people think Stargate is, I can comment on whether it's got any legitimacy.
Well, from what I've read, people are saying that the Stargate program is doing some kind of experimentation with kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I mean, it has a different name, but absolutely that's true. And as you know, Mr. Herrera, the Marine who was at our conference, who I think you'll be speaking with soon, he came across such an operation. He initially thought they were transporting in this man-made UFO drugs. They certainly had weapons, illegal weapons that they were distributing. But those crates that our forensic aerospace artist drew, or we had a knock who was there, who had been involved in an operation after that. And those were transporting children and women and certain men who had certain capabilities that would be used in experimental projects here and in other countries. It's a monstrous program. There's a man who lives right near here who was a CIA operative and was very young, was one of these victims of this. And he wants to come forward, but he's quite frightened. He's already signed affidavits about it. But there's a CIA black site 160, not far from Nashville, that was involved in some of these operations, mostly drugs and drug running, but also trafficking.
So it's a human trafficking operation. It's part of Stargate.
Yeah, but you have to understand what it's for. It's not for, shits and giggles, excuse me. It's rather, I have to say, some of these projects, they're very disturbing. And I don't know how much people want to hear this, but
they want to hear it.
It will keep you awake at night. I mean, if you have children like I do. But they're used in very specific operations, and they're selected for certain capabilities, particularly psi capabilities. Okay. And those are used in projects that these illegal projects are running for the purpose of communication.
So what's coming to my mind right now is remote viewing.
Yes.
Is that involved in this?
But in a very high-tech way, technologically. Most of the subjects die as a consequence of what they're made to do. But they have certain aptitudes and abilities for which they are screened, and then they are abducted and taken. Now, keep in mind, this is also, there are a lot of operations that are related to this. Recently there was a whistleblower came out talking about the aliens murdering humans, and he was referring to a case that I know for a fact were our operations, these illegal secret government operations that were down in South America, and they've done it in Africa also, where they have killed innocent people in villages to make it look like an alien attack. Now, that information is being now provided to Congressman Tim Burchett and the Senate Intelligence Committee as if those were extraterrestrial events. They have no idea. It's our guys doing it.
I'm trying to get Tim on the show.
No, he's great. I've met with him. He's in this heart and soul. Here's the risk, though, and if anyone in Congress is watching, I want to word this very carefully. A little knowledge is an extremely dangerous thing here. because this is a hall of smoke and mirrors and deception. And you have to then wind this back. What would a clandestine operation have if unsupervised since the late 1950s, where they've had some of the most brilliant scientific minds I've ever met working these projects. They've had almost an infinite amount of money, trillions of dollars that have gone into the R&D, studying both human breakthroughs and also extraterrestrial vehicles, propulsion systems, communication systems, material science, what things are made of, how they're made. Well, you figure after 80 years of that and trillions of dollars, you're going to have some payoffs. And these payoffs are in the form of advanced advanced technologies, and ARVs, alien reproduction vehicles that are the man-made ones, but also this whole area of nanobiotechnology, consciousness and mind interface technologies, all manner of weapon systems that are what are called scalar or longitudinal, go faster than the speed of light. It's like an EMP, but on steroids. It has, instead of a wave like this for electromagnetic, it's a straight line that goes out longitudinally called scalar. And those are faster than the speed of light. They can be used for interstellar communications, but they can also be weaponized. They've been weaponized. So there are all manner, there's a whole constellation again of sciences and technologies, and the CIA science and technology guys, I've met with some of them, that are so far beyond what, let's call it the white world, the legal government, including Lockheed, Northrop Grumman. My uncle never worked on this stuff. He worked on the lunar module, landed on the moon the first time. That was my mom's oldest brother. And his whole career was with Northrop Grumman. He was never read into this other end of it. Mm-hmm. So one of the things people have to keep in mind, most of the people in the military, CIA, special operations, corporate, what have you, who work in that world are not part of some vast conspiracy.